Hello everyone, my name is Srikanth Victory. Today I'm going to talk about LLMs, that's particularly about private LLM. A lot of companies they're having a concern about public LLM, large language model, that could be OpenAI, it could be a bot or other proprietary models. So today I'm going to talk about how to run a private LLM within your company server or within your local server on premise, or could be a cloud service provider that's not going to be exposed to public, or you don't want to send any API calls outside your company network. So I've done read a demo here that's primarily on the Mistral or Mixtral LLM. So in my blog, I talked about a couple of private LLMs. There are a lot of LLM models are available. I'll try to have a quick walkthrough. In my blog, particularly, I talked about uh, Meta Llama 2, and the other one is Mixtral or Mistral AI. Mixtral is a language model. Mistral is a company AI company. So that said, I want to quickly walk through some of the models right what is available by today. I opened up quite a few things. Let me see where I can start with. Um, let's go here. Clicking face. Once again, I've done a lot of things. I opened up. Yeah, here it is. So you could see that one this particular page. I'm sharing my screen. You could see a lot of LLMs out there. You could see that one of the components of LLM. It could be a Amazon. It could be a banana. You can't even imagine all these LLM names. There are quite a few lists. A slew of LLMs are supported, or the API gateways are supported as part of the LLM. And also you could see the chat models. You could see various chat model that also you can see it. So these are the things that you could see in the list. And then I'm trying to kind of walk through text embeddings that's going to be primarily used for vector database or vector purpose, where you could see a list of text embeddings. If you're going to use AstroDB or ChromoDB, so each one of them, right, that supports a different type of text embedding model. That's primarily on the, as I said, for vector database. You can see the vector stores as AstroDB, this part of the Azure. There are quite a few vector database that is also available. So if you can go to this website where you could see a list of models, LLM models, a chat model, vector database, text embedding, and quite a few other things. And we all know about it. Right? Primarily, we worked with the Chat GPT or bot. There are quite a few Chat GPT type of things available. If you can go here, this is a Cody, okay, where you can go and type and you can get the response back. And you're having a hugging chat that's also similar to Chat GPT. And then you're having a Together API. So quite a few things are there. So you don't want to assume that one only the Chat GPT or a bot is available nowadays. That you're having a more than 20 different types of Chat GPT, rather different type of LLM chat. Public chat is available where you can try to generate the text or code. Okay, you can see all the parameters, temperature to tokens, or could be the top P or top K. All the values are can be set. So primarily, Red, I want to give a demo today on the Mistral AI. So I thought of doing a Llama or Mistral AI, how we can run it within the computer, within local. I've done it within my computer, borrowing a Google collaborative editor where I can try to use a Google AI GPU, because since I don't have a GPU, if you want to run a LLM on your computer, on your premises, on your local server within your company, you need to run it only on GPU, not on CPU. If you want to do CPU, you're going to have a very small size. GPU is going to be recommended. So I'm going to walk through the code. I'm not going to run this code because it's going to take 20 minutes to run it, 20, 30 minutes. I ran it already. Look at that one. I already set it up. GPU. I purchased 40 GB. That's a GPU RAM. And you could see the disk space and the system RAM. I already consumed, how much is that? 28. So if you can go here, I use a collab editor. It's a Python editor, part of the Google. If you go there, change runtime type, where you could see various types are there. I used a A100 GPU. I tried a TPU, it didn't work out, and then I started using A100 GPU. In fact, I paid $49 because of purchasing this GPU. If you're having in your company server, that's going to be very minimal. You can use Azure or AWS or even your on-premise local server. All right. So I'm going to walk through a few lines of code. You could see it on my screen. So we had to install that transformer. When I ran it, right, you get all this response back. So I just want to show that one, right? I already ran it. I'm not going to run it again. Let me clear the output. So when you try to run this statement, it's going to take 2 minutes or 1 minute to complete all the necessary downloadable file. I complete here, clear output. I'm also using LangChain together. I use for various purpose, but for this purpose, right, I tried with the no LangChain. The LangChain is a framework where you can try to swap out and swap in any type of LLM. That's a beauty. If I'm using today Mistral, tomorrow I want to use Llama. It's pretty easy to use it in the backside. I don't want to have separate writing the code. You can easily swap out and swap in even with the flag. Hey, I can try to have the flag is on. I can try to hit this LLM or I can hit the different LLM. So there are various ways we can use it with the LangChain using vector database. That's very powerful, one of the framework in the industry. And then you need to tokenizer and text iteration streamer, a lot of classes you're downloading from the transformer one, and then that you're using the radio. This is very important. And torch, PyTorch, obviously, that we're going to use it. So model, this is a model. You can try to download it. Right, the model you're going to download within your local. That's the whole thing. Right, this is the model that we're going to use. 8 by 7. You can learn more about what is 8 by 7. It's more decoder model, and we're using a 7 is the mixture of experts. So those things already mentioned in my blog. And we are trying to configure it. And then what I try to do that one, there are two ways we can do that one. One, we can try to, this is a pipeline. You try to download the quantization where you can try to download with the float 16. You can also do the float 32, float 64 if you want to have the large size trained model. So I'm trying to get the float 16. You can try to get that one. This is going to be taking at least 15 minutes to run. I would say not 15 minutes, maybe 10 minutes. Okay, it's going to run to bring all the model, trained model, publicly trained model. You're going to bring it in your local computer. So that's a beauty, right? And then you can try to have a prompt message, right? I wrote it here, right? A history about India, something I typed yesterday. So this is one way of doing it. And then you can print the prompt and you can get the output. You're going to get the results. So this is one way of doing it. The other way of doing it, right? I try to create more chat agent. So that we can try to go and type similar to the chat GPT. So I use the same thing. I can create I'm not going to walk through all the function what I wrote here. So you can see that one dialog, and I create the load generation pipeline, and then the launch UI. The UI is basically chat GPT UI. So I try to create that one. And then when I run it, look at that one. This is the one going to take 10 minutes. As I mentioned to you, it's also going to create the public URL. So I already copy paste this public URL over here. It brings like a chat GPT. So in other words, the long story short is the Mistral AI is a company, and they do a model, large language model is called Mixtral, MIX. So Mixtral LLM model. I tried to download it and configured it and create as a more like a chat agent where I can try to ask the question. As I showed you, one, you can ask the question. If you want to use it more in a programmatic way, you can ask the prompting, right? You can use a prompt query. I already showed the prompt query here. I show here. Okay, look at this one. This is a message. I call that one the prompting. The question here, right? History about. You can try to change anything through your application, anything you want it. So now, since I want to give a demo, so I launch as a UI so that we can easily test it. So now I got this one. It's already running. So look at that one, right? I've been it's in the background. It's running, by the way. So available. I got 400 units. Since I kept it open running, it has been running for a few hours. It's charging, pay as you go model. I choose the Collab Pro. So if I want to stop my terminate it, that means it won't charge. Since I'm using it right for borrowing the GPU, as I mentioned to you. All right. So now I opened already one of the text. This is a tech crunch. I'm already subscribed to this one. So I'm going to take some data here. Let's take that one, some copy paste this data. I'm going to summarize it. Let's do that one. I go here. So I'm going to ask a question here. Summarize this text. Remember this similar to the ChatGPT, but I'm not hitting the OpenAI. I'm hitting the Mistral AI or Mixtral LLM model. So I'm going to enter here application, summarize, right, text. So I hit this message. Look at that one, right? It's going to get the quick responses, amazingly speed. It's hitting the local LLM. It's not going to the public. So this is my link is local. Keep in mind. So now I get the response back, and then I can say what are the top 5 themes from the above message about text. So let's give the response here. Okay, all this, right, whatever I'm asking here, these things can be prompted through the program. I'm trying to give a demo as a local chat agent. So you could see that one, right, all these responses. You can try to ask any type of questions. And then what else, right, I want to share. Okay, write an essay about the United States in 2 paragraphs. So again, this LLM, I'm getting it local. All this response, I'm getting it automatically. You can ask any type of questions here. In your application, I would say that you can try to merge with your local data with this LLM, and then that's called RAG. So that you can try to ask some question, prompting the question. It's using your data on top of the LLM, and it's going to give a more refined response. That's another powerful use case. We could use it in the organization. And the primary purpose of this local LLM is, again, I mentioned in the blog, a couple of highlights I could give it to you. One, that you can try to train your this model, LLM model, for your application, meaning that you can try to train with your jargons and the company data sets, company information, and then you can try to ask questions or prompt questions to your needs. In fact, I'm imagining we can try to develop LLM service within your company. Let's say you're having 20 different applications, 20 different departments. Each department, each application can have its own LLM service. In other words, right, it has its own knowledgeable LLM service. You can run it, you can train it, and you can give a prompt to those LLM service, and you can get the response back. So that's a beauty. There are 2 different ways to implement. One, you can try to implement on premise. The people are very concerned about security and safety and all. You can also implement it safely in your cloud service provider. The cloud service provider, they are giving this offering for Mistral. They are trying to give an offer on the uh, Llama too. So a lot of them are already there. So again, that is going to be running within your cloud, not right outside. The data is not going anywhere outside your cloud. It's going to be your private cloud or your application cloud. It's going to run. So either way you can run it. It's a very powerful. I would encourage you to check out my blog. I'm just wondering anything else. Did I miss out? Again, this one, you could also do it in the Llama. I've done it with the Mistral. Okay, Llama also you can run it locally. That's a beauty about this open source LLM. The primary difference between the proprietary and the local or open source is the proprietary, they do have like a lot of moderation, a lot of other things they are doing a validation. The good news is Azure and AWS, since they are accepting and embracing this Llama and Mistral, so they're also owning it. They're taking like more AI responsibly. They are trying to put their own moderation so that it's not going to give any bad responses, unethical, or could be a you know profanity type of information it won't give. Again, it depends upon the use cases. I would strongly encourage you try to develop use cases that's going to be more prompting the questions to the model through your app. We don't want to open up to the customer or end user as an open chat. The moment you give it to the end users, they can ask any type of questions. So we can try to avoid. So as much as possible, your use cases could be more refined and also more closed. But through the application, you're always going to give a summarization, could be themes or action items, classification or translation. So those kind of questions, when you try to do through app, that's going to be more safer. Again, it's up to you how you can use this model based on your application. But again, there are some checks and controls that's already around these models, and I mentioned about it. There are some pros and cons, and also what is the safety measure that I mentioned in my blog. Thank you for watching. Appreciate it. Hope it helps.